Today, I'm going to conquer the most powerful and opulent empire on the planet, use it to secure 20 different wives, and ultimately produce hundreds of sons to rule the entire planet. Crusader Kings 3 used to be a medieval map-based grand strategy game, but the recent DLC has turned it into a weeaboo's dream and made it one of those games you don't want your friends to know about in your Steam library. The DLC just released now adds all of Asia, and with it, all kinds of overpowered buildings, units, and cheeky mechanics, including one very special new tradition, court macinations, available only to the ruler of the Chinese Empire. But securing the Hegemony of Tang is no easy feat, as he has access to a massive war chest, tons of units, and very powerful allies. And to pull this off as a small nation, you need to leverage some insane new development mechanics, creating the most technologically sophisticated nation on the planet, then build out your army to be as overpowered as possible, and finally win a difficult war to secure your ultimate prize?
Hey yo, what the fuck?
And sire an insane amount of offspring. And do I ever have the deal for you? If you want 20 wives also, all you have to do is like the video, subscribe, maybe leave a cheeky little comment, and enjoy. So I am going to need a good character to be able to do this, and surely with the addition of all this new content, I'm going to be able to find somebody up to the task. And I think I've found the perfect person, Jarl Haesteinn of Montague. And you might ask, why Jarl Haesteinn?
Hello.
Because Jarl Haesteinn has a deep, dark secret. And no, it's not his anime body pillow. Everyone knows about that. He has a lifelong goal to die doing something he loves, his waifu. So the first step to achieving this is to take the original passport bro down here and get him all the way from France over to Asia. Now, how I'm going to do that is quite simple. So I'm just going to declare war on small nations within my diplomatic range. I'm slowly going to chain together a bunch of different counties and eventually land somewhere over here. So here we are. I was able to hop from France down to Africa, across northern Africa, down through the Red Sea, up here to Oman, over through India, and now I have arrived here in Indonesia. And I am going to declare war against Lokapala, specifically because I want to take control of this holding Mataram. If we take a look at the income map view, you can see that this place is pumping at 2.3 gold already. You'll also notice we have a couple special buildings down here. There is a grand temple holy site over here, as well as a massive Buddhist temple and a volcanic basin. So I'm going to declare war on him, and I'm just going to fire all my armies in towards his capital. And there you go, 100% war score. We can enforce our demands, and we are now living here in Mataram. But why have I decided to settle here? Well, there's a few reasons for that. China is incredibly strong. Like, they have 6,000 guys of their own, but at any given time, the ruler of China can call on any of his governors here, and they can send all their troops. Now, while each of them only has 1,000, it adds up quite quickly. But now we need to get strong enough to be able to take on China in various battles. And the only way I'll be able to do this is to unlock new technology faster than this massive empire. But even then, it's still going to be very difficult, unless you have a cheeky strategy, some might even call an exploit, that will let you build an insanely overpowered military. But before we do any of this, I need more elite men-at-arms for my current army. Viking units which the Chinese have never seen before. These elite Varanian veterans. These guys do 58 damage base, which is amazing when you compare them to my enemies with light footmen at 13 or pestilent warriors at 31. They are going to wipe the floor with them. And to max these guys out, I'm going to need gold, which means we're going to need to go raiding. And the best place to do that is up here in China, where there's markets from the Silk Road, and the loot is absolutely juicy. You might also notice something else about Haesteinn, his distinct lack of waifu. I did realize that my prison is absolutely full from all those wars I waged to get over here, and notice that I have some pretty lovely ladies in there. So I can add my first waifu. Oh, there's 2 of them. Let's go, dude. Oh, baby. Haesteinn's a happy boy already. And I'm going in to raid this 46 gold holding. Oh. back off and I'll head on up to Japan for a 29 gold holding. And we returned glorious with 486 gold now. Beautiful. I'm gonna turn around and pot that into some new men-at-arms. I'll get rid of these light footmen, they're trash anyways. And head off raiding again. Oh, the lovely city of Chang'an looks tasty at 30 gold. We got one. Oh, there's 74 gold over here. Let's go. And this is one of the crucial markets of the Silk Road, so the Chinese are not gonna be happy about that. I better get out of here before they start attacking me. Oh, we've had a son. Name him after myself again. Haesteinn. Perfect. Okay, so quite a bit of time has passed. I have been raiding like crazy. I've been able to max out my army, and it cannot get any better than it currently is. But it's still not good enough to beat China. And in order to get an army that is, I need to do two things. One, I need to work on a cheeky little exploit I've been sitting on. And two, I need to increase my research speed to be able to out-tech China and defeat them with superior technology, which is not going to be an easy task because they are quite stacked to begin with. How you unlock technology is a little bit complex, but the new DLC adds some really great war technology, so this is super important. Pick a technology to research, and based on your culture's skill and development, they research things at different speeds. We're currently researching communal government, and that's gonna take 550 years. You can see that there's a 22% chance we make 0.06 progress each month, which is abysmal. The 0.06 progress is from the average development of Norse counties. And if we look at a map of the development, the Norse are not so developed. They're still super primitive, rubbing sticks and stones together. Now, Haesteinn wants to be rubbing his sticks and stones, but somewhere else. And lucky for us, these special buildings down here, like the ornate temple, the Borobudur, well, they all provide insane boosts to our development. But there's a slight problem. They're disabled because I'm not the right government type. And if I switch to that government type, well, I'm going to lose the ability to raid. And we wouldn't want to impact our ability to capture prisoners from China and Japan. So what I'm going to do is come over to every holding in my territory and build out buildings that are going to give me increased development. And oh boy, did the developers add some juicy ones for us. Now, this sacred pool building over here is absolutely beautiful. It gives you a plus 4% development growth and reduces the building cost. Same thing with these trade ports. So I'm gonna continue raiding and then just build out all those buildings over time. Okay, so we'll be dead within a year. I could feel it in my very bones. Yeah, well, he's 97, no shit, man. So the last thing I'm gonna do before I die is just diverge the Norse culture here. I wanna make a new culture so that I'm in control of what we can research and the speed at which we'll be able to research it. And I'm gonna pick up strength in numbers because the barracks and war camp line of buildings will increase the men-at-arms regiment limit. And this is exactly what I want. To a new age, a new era, a new people. We got the Mataram Norse culture now. And there we go, we've died. We're playing as Jarl Haesteinn 2, and that's pushed us up to a 19% chance of a 1.3 progress each month. Now, it's still incredibly slow because our development here is only 19. Okay, so I spent that whole life doing the exact same thing. Raiding, coming back, and building buildings. Now, the results are way better than you think, but I'll show them off in just a moment. Right now, what I really want to do is form a hybrid culture with the native people that live here. We've settled here with this Javanese culture. Now, this culture is awesome because they are of the Austronesian heritage, and this is going to be incredibly important for exploding our development and research speed, especially with a hidden mechanic I've found and I'm going to tell you about today. In terms of the traditions, I'm going to maintain strength in numbers and hydraulic builders, which is going to give us development growth in wetlands and terraced hills. Now, if you noticed, our main holding over here kind of looks swampy and marshy, but it's actually terraced hills. Picking that up, that's going to be huge for us. And of course, in terms of our aesthetic, we're going to choose both, which will mix the cultures together. So I'm going to revoke every holding in here with somebody. Whoa, look at that. Norse lady in Malay dress. Chalk that up under things you'll love to see. What I really want to show off now is the fact you'll notice I've built a few additional castles around my land. In each of them, I've built barracks, and I've been trying to get them all to level 2, because with our cultural tenant, we get +1 stationed men-at-arms regiments. Now this is balanced, because if you revoke the castle from your vassals within your land, it automatically puts you over your domain limit and disables the building, removing the perk and not allowing you to increase your men-at-arms. However, if you exit the game and restart it, well, doesn't that allow you to build more than your maximum men-at-arms limit?
How? I'm saying, how? Like,
Now I could build up to 10 regiments of these elite men-at-arms, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, to start building a massive army that's going to be ready to defeat China. So now that we've got our army size taken care of, we need to improve our army's quality. That's done through research, and we speed up research through development. Currently, we have some great development in this area. If you take a look, we're at 35 development, and it's increasing at 3.6. Now, this is just nuts. The reason it's increasing like that, it's because I built out as many percentage boosts as I possibly could, but we also have an insane base development here. And you might be wondering, how are these cities getting plus 0.3 base development consistently? And that is because they have a perk called recently bartered. Now, Keeling here was recently visited by Wanua sailors. Now, this is very interesting. Coming back to our government types, if we look over here, there is a tribal form of government called the Wanua. And you might notice that, dear God, bro, this guy's a Chad, dude. But you'll also notice that he has this currency, bartering goods. So essentially, he's going to be generating some goods to barter. And then instead of raiding, he has the ability to come over and barter with my people, basically exchanging some loot that I have in my holdings. And in return, I get development. It's a win-win. Here's a good example of this. There's 300 units of hostile barterers that come in. Now he's going to pick a holding. He's gonna pick a holding. He's gonna pick a holding. One of these days, he'll pick a holding. Now, you can see here, there's 16 loot in this holding. If you raided this, you would get 16 gold. Now, these guys have supplies, which they're going to trade for the loot. Now, the holding has no loot. And this guy has some gold that he can bring back home to his ruler. But this town now has recently bartered with. So what I need to do is make myself the most attractive option around to barter with. The way to incentivize the AI to trade with you is to have a similar cultural heritage, which we have now because we merged cultures, and to have a large amount of loot in your holdings, which I have because I've been building out trade ports which have a significant amount of gold in them. Now, the game tooltips will not tell you this. You actually have to dig through the code to find this out. So what I'm going to do now is take an entire life and develop the hell out of this duchy, ultimately modernizing it so much, making it so nice and attractive for barterers to come, that we'll get massive boosts to our development and increase the speed at which we can research. And I'm hoping that if we have some crazy research speed, we should be able to out-tech the Tang Empire. Oh my days, I got this guy from raiding the capital of China. Who is this dude? For 1,000 gold. Yingzhuang Nenzengli. He's dear to him. What is he for him? Oh, he's his son. He's the heir. Oh, I want to murder him so bad. I want to murder him so bad. No, I can't do it. I need the gold. I need the gold. There we go. He saved up the 1,000 gold. Yes, please. Thank you very much. I'll be able to invest this in some cheeky buildings. All right, so the year is 1006. Our Javanese, Mataram, Norse culture is looking real good in terms of innovations. But as you can see, we're researching so quickly. We have a 40% chance to gain a 1.6 progress each month. And that's because our development is just insane. We're at 45 now, and if we take a look at the development growth, like let's look at Deng, for example, we're growing at 4.1 just from the bartering that's been taking place with other holdings and all of the boosts I've locked in there. It's pretty nuts, to be honest. And I've declared war down here on these fellas because by bordering the Tang Empire, it'll automatically give me a casus belli to take them over. Now, we are in quite a bit of debt, and that's because our armies are so expensive. But that's going to be totally fine because once we die and our son takes over, it'll reset at 0. And we've gotten a 100% war score. I can now enforce the demands and take this holding next to him. And now all I have to do is wait for that sweet release of death. Awesome, so we've died and we'll now be playing as our new son. Now, in order to maintain my gold, I need to show you the absolute juice when raiding here. I typically start over here in the Pagan Empire. I come in, their capital gives 113 potential raid loot. I cycle up here, which then I have a nice path, 49, 47, 85, 132, because there's 2 gold mines here. Then I circle down to the Khmer Empire. There's 41, 37 loot over here. After that, I cycle up and go along the coast. There's 113 loot at this port over here in Xinjiang. There's another 74 loot waiting for us if we continue on down to the mighty barony of something. Don't worry, this is an early development build. We'll get some loot there. Then on up to the main holding here in Tang, and you can see there's 94 loot in this holding. You cycle down to the capital, 85 in this one, 65 here. You circle back out towards Japan. You can pick up 39 at this gold mine over here in Yora, 66 at this port, 47 here, and back home to maintain my quite literally massive army at this point of 9,000 elite soldiers. So we're raiding the capital here in China now. Oh, valuable prisoner. Who's this? This is this guy's heir. Let's go. I'll be able to ransom him for 1,000 gold, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to keep him in my prison because he's going to be much more valuable to me than that. Okay, so I've come back from my raids. I have a full and stacked army now, but I think it's time we declare war on the Tang Empire. And I'm specifically going to declare war to seize the mandate of heaven, gain all of China essentially in this one war, and just become incredibly overpowered. Let's go ahead and do that. And you'll notice we start with a 50% war score, and that is because we have a valuable prisoner. This guy's heir, which we picked up on the raid, that is actually kind of broken. I'm just gonna fire my troops into the capital, and that should almost put us at 100%. So we've taken the capital for 63%. I'm just gonna raid around slowly here and try to pick up more. I have encountered no resistance as of yet, so this is good. Here we can have 1, 2 holdings seized, and we've got 100% war score, so we can now enforce the demands and become the ruler of China. The throne of Tang is now mine. Oh baby, is that not so much better? Haesteinn takes the throne. Today marks a historic milestone for House Haesteinn. Never has this happened, obviously, and rarely did we dream of it. I don't think that's true given Hastings's love of waifus. And there is so much to do now that we've secured our rule over China. I think one of the first things we're gonna do is try to increase my monthly income because we are spending a lot of money. And you notice that our domain taxes are now just 0.1. That's pretty brutal. Now, because we have the celestial government type, this is the government type for China to be the son of heaven. It basically transfers a bunch of your income to the treasury, which you can use for special projects to build out your empire and make it stronger. It's so in depth that I'll cover all of this in another video. So I'm going to decrease the size of my Varanian veterans down to 1. Now, I do have a bit of a problem. China has been converted to the Sino-Viet culture, and they do not have the cultural tenet that allows you to have a bunch of waifus. So what I'm going to do is take my Minister of Revenue and set him on promoting the cultural acceptance with the Han culture over here. Now, as soon as this cultural acceptance reaches 40, I'm going to form a hybrid culture with them and pick up court macinations, which will allow me to have up to 20 wives. Now, looking at my subjects in the Hegemony of Tang, some of my most powerful vassals, like this dude, absolutely hate me. He's pretty strong, all things considered. I'm below my legitimacy expectations, and the Ass of True Faith is considered hostile. So one of the first things I'll do is convert away from being Asa True into a new religion. And finally, the last thing I'm going to do is come over to our estate and try to make some more money for us. Basically, I want to increase the amount of monthly income I have so I can rebuild my men-at-arms. So I'm gonna start with a nice rice field and build that out to begin with. My esteemed majesty, during my travels in Tangong, I met with a family of good standing. They petitioned me to select a lady to serve you in your inner palace. Gee. I chose Shang? Xuan? I chose Xuan, a woman of rare grace. Let's take a look at her. She's not bad, actually. We hope that she pleases you. Yes, may she join the harem. Great game, 10 on 10 Steam store. Thank you. And we have the decision available to us to raise a runestone because we are of Norse descent. This is going to give us some legitimacy, prestige, and piety. And it'll be of my ascension to the throne of Tang. They're gonna uncover that and say, some Tang wrong with this stone. Oh, you know what would be even better? The barony of something should rename to some Tang. Okay, so the time has come. The year is 1036, and I can now form a hybrid culture with the Han to get the coveted court macinations for those juicy, juicy concubines. So I'm going to form this hybrid culture of Chinese heritage, and now we will have the Sino-Javanese Mataram Norse culture that we so crave. I need to find some concubines. I have 3 concubines and I only have 2 additional ones available to me, but I can get up to 20. And I now have a new court position opened up called Keeper of the Harem, who supervise everything from the concubines' garbage to the auspicious scheduling. Say that 10 times fast, Jesus. Auspicious scheduling of imperial intercourse. So I'll just slot literally anybody in this for now. Selecting palace beauties, which reduces my stress. And every year they'll potentially retire one old age and childless concubine and recruit a new one. Just gonna manage itself. To start, I'm gonna fill it out on my own. I got a giant one here. Holy. I had a small one back to back. And there you go. I filled out my harem of women, and the next and final step is going to be to propagate as many children as humanly possible and ship them off into the world to see what they can do. Oh, and he's come of age. Perfect. Now I have a bit of a problem. Prior to changing cultures, I've been playing this entire game with coastal warriors. This is a Norse tradition that allows characters to become adventurers, to force them to become landless wanderers with just a camp that can go out through the entire world, fight people, be mercenaries, and build an empire of their own. So my goal now is to produce as many children as possible, install them as governors all throughout the mighty empire of Tang. However, I did not realize in the code you could not do this as a distinguished house. And for us, House Haesteinn, Odin's brilliance is our lance. No, it must be changed. This dude looking for a waifu. Much better. So what I think I'm gonna do is complete this life, solidify my rule, get as strong as possible, and play as my next character, and try to set my next character up with the optimal setup to get as many wives as possible. So we'll cut back as soon as I'm ready to croak. So you join me now in the year 1055, and he's just lived so bloody long. Like, he's got the fecund trait. I even had whole of body, reset my perks, and I actually can't get this guy to die. He's just too good, but we should be dying soon. I've lined up a very solid heir for us next life over here. He's got the Midas touch. He's an honest man. He's brave. He's fecund. He's ready for the ladies. I want to improve the Sino-Japanese Mataram Norse culture even more and just enact a new cultural tradition. One that I know everyone, you, Jarl Haesteinn, me, are going to love. The only guy that's going to hate it is the editor. You're welcome for all the extra work you have to do, but I'm going to enjoy this playthrough so much more. And that should be established in about 5 years. And we've had another son. Would you look at that? Or a grandson, rather. Would you look at that? Oh, boy. I hooked up one of my sons pretty nicely. Holy. I cannot wait 5 years for the cultural tradition to take effect. And we have died, so we'll be playing as our son, Haesteinn 2. And look at him. He's an absolute beauty with his lovely drunken wife over here. So our nudity tenant has just taken in, and I've got my lovely ruler there. And if we just take a look at our culture now, you can see that we're researching things incredibly fast. We have a 37% chance to get a 1.5 progress each month. If we look at the development of our lands, we're at 60 down here, 64, 65. That's arguably some of the best in the world. You can see Europe is just slacking. Rome's at 50, Constantinople 49. In terms of my dynasty legacies, I've picked up kin, giving us increased fertility. I've picked up noble veins, increasing our congenital traits we pass on. I'm gonna pick up studious youth and constant care when I can, just to increase my ability to live longer and strengthen my dynasty. I've gone down the intrigue lifestyle and picked up like weeds in a garden. This will give me plus 30% fertility. I'm on my way to picking up Seducer, giving me a plus 20% fertility and an attraction bonus of 40, which is quite nice. Then I'm gonna flip over to learning, go up the whole of body tree again, pick up Iron Constitution, giving me a massive health boost and some more fertility. We've slowly been having different children with our various concubines. I think I'm gonna just start seducing some of them. Holy smokes! She got some tig old biddies on this one. Whoa, jeez. Okay, so I'll be seducing her next, it looks like. But I have a bit of a problem with this harem. You can see that most of these people are from my realm, but most of them look Scandinavian. Like, look, we came here for women of this region, and in order to do that, I have a bit of a plan. And it involves taking over all of Japan to acquire some lovely Japanese women for this harem. I am going to build out my military by just maxing out my provincial armies like I have. I've got some good cloud ladders. These guys have pretty insane siege bonuses. I also have these unique Chinese units locked in here, the Tai Futu cavalry. This is because in my culture, I have the art of war unlocking these guys. I guess I'm ready to invade Japan. This guy is looking, he's in rough shape. Why does everybody here have one arm? He's rakish, he's irritable, he's maimed, got lover's pox, and is ill. He's the prime target to declare war against. I'm going to just declare war for a small holding down here, and then I will bring him under tribute after I do that. And so I will raise all my armies on the coast here. I'm gonna grab my elite army and fire them right over to the capital. And I'm here for one thing and one thing only, and that is women. If we look at my prison, I've already picked up quite a few women for my harem, so this is going quite well, if I do say so myself. And there you have it. I've beaten Japan down. I can enforce demands. I look to my lovely, lovely prison full of Japanese women. Oh my days, look at this woman. So I'll come over to my current list of concubines and just kind of dismiss everybody that is not Japanese, except for my lovely Sig with the Tig old biddies. Her I'm gonna keep. Okay, so the year is 1093 and we have had an absolutely insane run. Right now we control the most profitable holdings. We have 96 development in the capital, and honest to God, I haven't even been trying to improve it. Like, I built a couple buildings, I didn't even max it out. The development in China is just so nutty. We have a 50% chance we gain 2 progress each month. Like, that is insane. We'll fill out the tree in no time. I'm really impressed by this holding down here with the new trade system. I think I'm going to cover that in an entire video on its own because it's so impressive. You can see that down here I got to 73, 75 development, and I was barely trying, to be honest with you. So there we have it. The Karluk Empire is a little bit bigger than us, but the most important thing was the amount of children we've had. You know, I've had 60 children total, but even with my brand new fecund wife here, she's 21, should be completely and totally fertile, but has had no children with me. So I think I might have hit a soft cap in the code. I've never had this many children before, so I'm really not sure what to think. So from Jarl Haesteinn, the most creative character to play, if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. The Ottawa Welshman. And a huge thank you to all the YouTube members on screen who joined for $1. If you liked that video, I got great news for you. The one on screen right now is one I'm sure you're going to love. Why don't you give it a watch? Check it out.